Hello, good evening. Organisers have been hailing as a success the efforts of thousands of people who braved sub-zero temperatures overnight to raise awareness of homelessness. More than 8,000 spent the night in Princes Street Gardens in Edinburgh as part of Sleep in the Park. Cameron Buttle reports.
The temperatures had already dropped below freezing, but they queued in their thousands to spend the night out in the open. For one night, fundraisers from all over Scotland had given up their beds to help the homeless.
We all work in NHS, we work with people who are homeless regularly, so this is really close to the heart for us.
I'm really cold at the moment and it's not even 7 o'clock, so I don't know how I'm going to manage, but it's the thought of people are doing this every single night. I can go home tomorrow.
In this day and age, people shouldn't be sleeping in the streets, so there was a whole crowd of us decided that we were going to do this to help the homeless.
Liam Gallagher was the headline act on stage, along with Amy MacDonald in Deacon Blue. But then it was time for everyone, including the Deputy First Minister, to settle down for a special bedtime story from John Cleese.
Once upon a time, long, long ago.
The event was billed as the biggest of its kind anywhere in the world.
It really focuses everyone's minds on this issue of homelessness, particularly this time of year, coming up to Christmas, when home is so important to everyone. So from that, again, we have the opportunity to really catalyse some more significant political and structural change.
Organisers say even without all donations in, the event has already raised more than £3.5 million. Cameron Buttle, reporting Scotland.
A former paratrooper from Paisley who spent 4 years in an Indian prison has told a newspaper that he feels betrayed by the UK government, who could have got him freed sooner. There's some flash photography in our pictures here. Billy Irving was one of the Chennai Six who were imprisoned on charges of smuggling weapons and ammunition. Their convictions were overturned last week. A spokeswoman for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office said it had worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Police believe a body found on the Isle of Skye is likely to be that of missing fisherman Alistair MacLeod. His boat was found on rocks north of Applecross Bay in Wester Ross last month. Now, ahead of Thursday's Scottish budget, the Greens say an inflation-based pay rise for public sector workers is their priority. The party could hold the balance of power when Finance Secretary Derek Mackay outlines his spending plans in Holyrood. Katie Hunter reports.
The Scottish Government has previously promised to end the 1% pay cap for public sector workers. But whatever Finance Secretary Derek Mackay announces, he'll need the support of one of Scotland's smaller parties to get the minority SNP government's plans through Parliament. And for the Greens, the priorities are
an inflation-based, as minimum, a pay increase in the public sector, protect local government services which have been cut over many, many years. We managed to halt that last year, but we need to start reversing those previous cuts. And we can do that with fairer taxation.
In other words, tax rises. A policy supported by all Holyrood's opposition parties, except the Conservatives. They've challenged the Scottish Government to avoid any increases by improving efficiency. Labour claims councils face an effective cut of more than £800 million and say a budget which tinkers round the edges is no use, while the Lib Dems are clear about what they want.
The top priority for us is to have a transformational investment for education, which will help with the economy, which has been stuttering over recent months and in fact years.
And the Finance Secretary says he will put economic growth at the heart of his spending plans.
Can't go over it. We can't.
What that means for public sector workers and everyone else will be clearer on Thursday. Katie Hunter, reporting Scotland.
One of Britain's worst rail crashes is being remembered in a memorial service this evening. The Castle Cary rail disaster cost 35 people their lives in a snowstorm 80 years ago today. Another 179 were hurt in the tragedy when an Edinburgh to Glasgow express ploughed into a stationary train. Football, and 2 late goals from Hibs earned a draw against Celtic. Substitute Ollie Shaw scored the equaliser, which leaves them 4th in the Premiership table. Celtic are 5 points clear at the top, and their unbeaten domestic record now stretches to 68 games. And finally, 8,500 Santas took to the streets of Glasgow to raise money for charity. It was a record-breaking number of participants in the annual Santa Dash. Now let's see if it's weather for Santa. Christopher's at the map for us.
Graham, thank you very much indeed. Hello there. Beautiful blue skies for many of us today, but it really was very cold indeed, and there was some stubborn areas of mist and fog around. Tonight, a cold, frosty night, a severe frost. A yellow be aware warning enforced from the Met Office of further wintry showers. On the coast and across the Isles there'll be of rain, but come inland falling as snow. Most of central and southern Scotland dry and cold. Town and city temperatures -6, -7. In the countryside where there's snow on the ground, perhaps as cold as -15. So a cold start to the day tomorrow, and there could well be some areas of mist and fog once again. We still have those showers across northern areas, again falling as snow at times, but a good part of central and southern Scotland will have a dry, bright, sunny day tomorrow. It will be cold, not quite as cold as today. Temperatures just about climbing into positive territory, 1 or 2 degrees. That's the forecast.
And that's Reporting Scotland. We're back with the late bulletin tonight, just after the 10 o'clock news. But from all of us, for now, have a good night. Bye-bye.